Hello, I'm Doug and this is the Taste and Sensibility channel. And today we're at episode number 12 of Chilies and Peppers, where we're looking at chile manzano. So I've got a couple of fresh ones here. I have a piece of a roasted one, and then I made salsas with the fresh and roasted chilies. And there'll be an extra little thing if it works out, and if it doesn't work out, you'll never see this bit. So, thank you so much for all the views and watching these chili videos, and thank you for all the comments and questions and back and forth. And if you like what you're seeing in these, please give this video a thumbs up and leave questions and comments, like and subscribe, do all that sort of stuff. Share it with people and the channel will grow a little faster. So, as you can see here, one of them's kind of yellowish, one of them's more orangish, and manzano is about like the Spanish word for apple, which is because of the shape, but they're not that different than a green bell pepper either. So these are a little unusual. And the heat level we have here is given in Mark Miller's book. On his page, he calls it manzano, feminine ending, but I think it's the same thing. Shaped much like a bell pepper, measuring about 3 inches long, 2.25 in diameter. Thin flesh, soft and meaty in textures with fruit-like flavors. Usually medium hot, but can be very hot. Manzano is unusual and its seeds are black. Used in salsas. Salsas are stuffed. He says heat level 6 to 8 over here. And from Central America, Central Valley of Mexico. So 6 to 8, and several online sources that I saw gave ratings of 12,000 to 30,000 Scoville units. So we are definitely stepping up. So I think I will be doing the yellow one for my fresh tasting. And just cutting right through to show the black seeds. There we go. Oh, that's pretty obvious. So this is the same one as in the book, I think. There's not a lot of chilies with black seeds. And this is one of them. So I'm just going to cut out the little seed mass here. Maybe it'll be a display piece. Yeah, there we go. And then I can, I've got a pretty clear shot at slices. Though I don't think I'll be eating a lot of this, given that heat level, but it smells somewhat green, somewhat like a green bell pepper, but more like the yellow and orange sweet ones, the colorful things that I had in episode 2, I think. So we've all seen those. So I'm going to do a couple slices here, very small pieces, and I probably won't eat most. So there's more and more capsaicin in these, and I don't really get irritated on my hands. I definitely forget later on and then touch my face, touch my eyes. It's recommended to use gloves on jalapeno on up, or hot banana peppers, even Anaheims. You're going to find out once in a while where it is on your fingers because you just touch your eyelid or something and it's going to get your attention. So be careful with all that. So let's see how sweet and fruit-like it is. I will take the smallest piece I have here and take a bite. It's like the yellow and orange sweet bell peppers. There's not a lot of heat in that piece. That was not next to a rib. So interesting. There's geography involved. Morphology. Oh, wow, 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 wow. Hotter. That's a sweet, fruity taste. Very light fruit. An apricot, a peach. White grape. Light in taste, light in sweetness. Oh. So, this is pleasant. Let's see, do I want a rib piece? Maybe. So, it is not attacking me. It would be okay stuffed if it had enough mass of other foods, and hopefully fat-containing foods with cheese or meat or something that could wipe out or cover over or wash away some of the capsaicin. This is a nice fruity flavor, texture like you'd expect from a green bell pepper, or those big succulent, sweet, colorful ones. So this is not burning me. So I would think this is at the lower end of the heat scale. It's not 30,000. And very pleasant. Okay, so a little careful finger cleaning here. So none of the parts that I ate really attacked me on that, so that's good. I still have some taste buds left to taste the salsa, which is my usual base, made from canned fire roasted tomatoes and onions and garlic that I roasted, and a little lime juice. So there's a big wad on these tips. Wow, it's nice. Light, fruity. Oh, there's some heat. The pepper that went into this is quite a bit warmer than the one I'm tasting now. This is a fresh example. Ooh, this is good. Quite a bit of sweetness from the tomato. But I can tell there's fruity notes floating around in there, and it is really light. It's that's the same peach and apricot type fruitiness, and it's just light and drifting by, but then the heat comes along mid palate and near the finish. Now, what you know, and you can see some of the chunks, I think, of the yellow chili in there in the overhead camera. So it's a nice set of flavors, and I would only add a little salt and some cilantro, maybe a little oregano to spice this up a little bit more and complete it as a good salsa. It would be medium if you found it in a shelf on a jar. Yeah, I'd call it a medium. Oh yeah. And I put 40 grams of chili mass into 300 grams of the base. So it's a pretty good salsa and a pretty good example of a fruity hot chili. Okay, a little cleanup. So let's do the usual view of the chilies getting roasted. Now we can take a look at this roasted manzano. I'm still going to be careful, even though this chili over here was mild-ish and didn't hurt me. I'm not going to pretend this one's the same thing. Ew, I don't want that stuff on me. Okay, a little piece of roasted manzano. Wow. Developed really rich caramelized flavors. It's almost meaty. Wow. That is fantastic. So I can picture all sorts of interesting stuffed recipes or design some foods and things using this stuffing, one of these roasted manzanos. Fruitiness is still there, but it's sort of in the back. The caramelized flavors are strong. Ooh, the heat was a little more on that piece. So this is wonderful. I'm liking it. Don't think I need to eat more of the of the roasted chili because it's building up. It's a building heat now, and I'll need some headroom for tasting the roasted salsa. So again, 40 grams of a roasted chili went into, well, the other half of this, the other part of this, went into 300 grams of the base. Wow. Caramelized notes are strong. I can tell it's not the onions and the tomatoes, but it's the caramelized chili flavors that I've grown to love in so many of the other episodes. That's really nice. It's a bit warmer than the fresh salsa was. I don't know if the water left or if it was just a hotter individual. Very good. And getting my attention. And I can see some of the yellow specks of the roasted chili in here. So very good. So look in your Latin markets for chili manzano. They're in several markets in my area. And this might take me a while to cool off. But now we can move on to the other little extra thing that I hinted at earlier, which is a Manzano chili and honey ferment. As our extra little thing today with the Manzano chilies, we are going to do a fermentation experiment. I have chopped up 200 grams of manzanos, and you can see the remains here, the core. I chopped up 2 chilies into little small pieces, so you can see the size of the pieces that are chopped up in there. So there's 200 grams in the jar here, and I'm going to pour in 200 grams of honey. And then the sugar from the honey will go into inside the peppers, and some of the moisture and water inside the peppers will come out into the mass of the honey solution outside the chilies. And when it gets thin enough, it will be able to ferment. Yeast does not turn honey into some fermented drink because it's not conducive to living cells. Osmotic pressure is too high inside for life to exist in there. But when you mix it with something like this, you're able to dilute it, and it happens over a few days. It takes a while for the water to equalize throughout the whole thing. But once it's thin enough and the yeast can get going, their spores are all over everything, all over the chilies, all over the honey. There's lots. So I'm just going to try to pour in 200 grams of honey. This is acacia honey from Savannah Bee. It was in a video. Imagine that. And I hope I can get 200 grams in. We need some space. Okay, so that took 240 grams of the honey to the 200 grams that were in here, but you need to cover up every piece of the chilies. So I saw this on a YouTube video, believe it or not, and it was just called honey fermented chili manzano, or honey fermented manzano peppers, or something like that. And I'll put a link down in the description, or maybe a card up here. But this is going to be interesting. So this will take a few days. It'll take a few days for the water to equilibrate and move around. Then it'll take a few days for the yeast to ferment the stuff. So it will be an interesting, sweet, hot mess. So I'm going to date this thing. And put the lid on tight. We want things to get out. We don't want things to get in, but we want any CO2 produced to get out. So I'll be checking back on this every couple of days and maybe shooting video of that. So here we go, looking at day 3 of our Manzano chili and honey ferment. So what has happened? This was put away on January 30th. Now it's February 2nd. And let's look at it. Oh wow, it's very fluid. It's not like honey, it's a lot thinner. So I think the water has come out of the chilies and gone into the honey. It's a very loose top, so CO2 can come out when it starts fermenting. Wow, that's a lot of dead space down at the bottom. So I think it's very fluid, and I'm not seeing any bubbles. There's not a lot of fermentation evidence, so that will probably appear in the coming days. So that's all. So this is day 13 of my little test of the honey fermented manzanos. So the video shooting did not go the way I thought it would, because first I had some green mold growing on top of it, and I pulled out a few pieces, and then I came back a few days later and there was white mold growing on top of it, and I pulled out a few pieces, and there's still little specks on the sides and the walls here, but I'm not all that worried about it. I'm going to go ahead and taste this and let you know what it's like before anything else grows on it. So, honey, full strength honey went in, so it was very thick, but there was lots of moisture in the chilies. Wow, that should be enough, but I think I'm going to like them. So the top has been on loose. I think you can see some bubbles where CO2 is coming off from yeast fermenting the honey and or the chilies and or I don't know what else. Maybe it ferments mold eventually. But these look like the slices that went in. They're kind of translucent now. And yep, it is a watery liquid now. So lots of the moisture came out of the chilies and some of the sugars went in, and yeast was everywhere. Oh, it's like a pickle. So, like a sweet pickle. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Oh, there's the heat. It stayed there. That capsaicin didn't go anywhere. A couple more pieces. Should have brought something to put them on or go with it, but I didn't know what to expect. Okay, yes. So think of this as a sweet pickle. I'm not sure I could eat this much of the chili manzano this fast. So capsaicin level's a little milder. Maybe it went into the liquid. It's a good effect. Very zippy sweet pickle. I like it. I like it. This is great. Link below to that other video. Success. Thumbs up. That was good. So I hope you enjoyed that. And that was an interesting thing I saw someone do. And I'll put a link down to their YouTube video that showed me how to do it down below. And I also saw a very interesting pair of chili manzano salsas by a Mexican cook that I follow. And I'll put her link down below so you can see that. And then I got a little itchy thing in my nose, and I can't really do anything about it. So I will sign off quickly, and I think the next episode is going to be on dried chilies, seco, represented by these things in this set. We'll show a couple, and then we'll move into recipes and how they're used. So it'll be much more cooking with them. So come back for that, and cheers.